We back up?
We're back.
All right, we're back in session. Tyson?
Tyson Coster, Bannock County Public Works Assistant Director. I have before you a grant modification for the Scout Mountain grant project. The
Fill out
forest.
all this paperwork? I got it.
No. So the Forest Service did the original engineering, the grant process on this, and they overshot the amount of money that was going to take. When they brought this to us last year, we met with them. We changed some of the repair procedures that saved a bunch of money. They've identified a source to use some of the funding that was originally, and they've got it approved on their end. So they presented this modification of grant to change the funding and decrease it by $175,000. So.
And this is the road up Scout Mountain again?
Yep. East Fork.
And so does the decrease impact us at all, or is it just them?
It's just them. So we're getting towards the tail end of the project.
That's what I thought we were about done.
Yeah, I think right now there's 225,000 roughly left. We just did the cattle guards, the paving. We have a little bit of fence work. We're gonna mow it one time this spring and put the signs in. We have roughly 30,000. This will still leave about 55,000 in the grant. So
Okay.
they just want to utilize the funds that they've got approved.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, somewhere else. So.
Well, I know in speaking with them, they're extremely happy with the relationship and what the work you guys have done, so as long as.
Yeah, the project's turned out good. Everyone's been pretty happy with it. So.
Okay. So the grant shows here 330,000, if I'm reading that correctly, or I don't see where it says directly that we're decreasing it.
So it's on the
Right.
on the front page
On
and
the
number
front
8,
page.
purpose of modification. They would decrease obligations from a 505 to 330.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, I'm good with that if you are.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept the modification of grant with the USDA Forest Service, decreasing the obligation from 505,000 to 330,000.
A motion, all in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
All right, Scott. First of all, thank you. Busy weekend last week. It's gonna happen again this week, next couple of weeks.
We have a couple days of an awesome reprieve to get us ready for the next one. But it'll be super. It'll be just a fantastic, 10 days. I'm excited about
Having no control of the weather.
it.
Wow,
We made mud.
there was a lot of rain.
Saved on water trucks though, right?
100%. 100%.
Fuel costs substantial this time.
So, Scott Crowther, Events Director, Business Manager. I've got a few things to chat with you guys about today. We'll start, if it's okay, with the El Quran Shrine Circus. They are coming, or they are requesting to come on June 13th, with the circus actually taking place on the 14th. They're running a show up in, I believe it's Idaho Falls on the 14th, so they're going to come into the facility late at night on the 13th and then set up. It's kind of like you see in any movie. They're going to come in, set up, run a circus, get out. From our standpoint, there's not going to be a ton of modifications to the ground or to the facilities, but because it's up in the grandstands, that's why I'm bringing this to you. So with the contract, we are proposing to charge them a $750 fee, which is the $500 for the rental of the grandstands and the $250 setup fee. And so that'll charge them for the day they come in, and then they'll come in, throw on a circus, be out that night. So it's going to be kind of a quick thing, but I think it's an awesome event that people are going to be excited to see in our community.
So one show. I mean, that's
Yeah.
with the monster trucks and the things that we had.
It is
Because we
my,
rented it for a day.
Yeah.
You get to throw 4 shows in there?
yeah. So it's one day of shows. I don't know if they're planning on doing multiple shows. I think it's just, my impression was that it was just a one show. on that
Doesn't
one.
interfere with the horse racing.
Nope.
And how much work will you guys have to do on the grounds and stuff? to
So
take care of that.
this is at the end of at the rodeo. So the horse racers don't come back in for 2 more weeks after that.
Okay.
So from our standpoint, it's really pretty easy and it's good timing for it. So very little impact to us.
I didn't see any concerns with it when I read through the contract.
Nope. So, Mr. Chair, make a motion that we approve the event for the El Toro Shrine Circus as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
All right?
Aye.
And then we'll jump into the DJ contract services. So for the 4th of July, previous years we've used a DJ to run the beach party. The person that we have used to the beach party no longer does the DJ services. So we went out and we found a new DJ. This contract is actually for two events essentially for the day. He's going to come in and do the beach party, and then he'll run up and do the car show. And he'll just change his music from cool music to 60s cool music. So it'll be, I think it's going to be a good event for both. And he is donating some of his fees, like usually he has some setup and teardown fees that he is just including in the cost for us to give us a little bit of a discount on it. But so we just want to
The only problem I see with this is he wants his deposit within 24 hours of signing.
He does. Want the
We won't
deposit.
have a check available until Friday next week.
Okay.
Why are we that long on a check?
We only process payment once a week, and you guys are gone next Thursday. So if he turns the invoice in today, we won't have a check for him until next Friday.
That's just that's the process we'll have to follow on.
I just
So
want to
we'll
make
have
sure
let
he's
him
good
know.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay, because that doesn't comply with the contract.
Yeah.
If he's good with it, totally good.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure that's the way we work. So.
Okay. I just forgot the process.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's something I should have caught on that, was just to let him know that. So.
But if
That's
he's
my
good
bad.
with it, then, or just don't sign it till next Friday, and you'll have a check for him next Friday.
So, I didn't like his contract, actually.
Okay.
But just some of the verbiage in here, we won't have to worry about the 250, because we're gonna notify him within a month,
Mhm.
or more than a month. And then Christie was talking to me that he said something about 250 instead of 350. Do you know anything about that? Okay, there was just all the different fees that were there. I just wondered, I don't know. Hopefully he's good.
I think that he I feel pretty comfortable. I have not spoke with him. I feel comfortable with the people, with Annie and Christy that have, just, I think that it'll be a good event.
Well, when I talked to Christie, she said she thought the fee was 250, and then it says 350, and then it would be 350, and the 5 hours at $100 an hour would add up to the 850 total
Mhm.
cost, and so I don't know what he's thrown in.
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. Okay.
So
Yeah, the
he said that he had
last
a
minute fee
set
in
up.
there of $250.
Yeah, the last minute cancellation was a
Yeah.
$50 fee.
That's on there, you can see that it said $250.
Well, and then up above, it says that if you don't give him a notice early enough, then there's a fee of $250 for last minute fee.
Right, that's the 250 that I saw.
Okay, okay. All right.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the contract for the DJ services as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Well, hold on a second. Since we're modifying that to not fit within his 24 hours, should we make a mention of that? Or are we okay just to approve it?
Well, the date on it's 5/20/2022.
Okay.
That's when he sent it to us. We could change the date when we're signing it.
Okay.
When it's delivered,
Okay.
Or if you'd like me to take it back and have it modified or make any changes, we can do that as well.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we fit within our process, so, because we can't, so then technically that would put us in violation.
You know, you could do, it technically be a counter offer, doesn't sound like it's gonna be a big deal, but you could put that in your motion saying, well, we're not gonna be able to process that until this time, but, and then give that back to them to sign, and you already have the sign.
Okay, let's do that then. So, Mr. Chair, I make a motion, or I'll revise my motion, that we approve the DJ Services contract with the modification of paying the deposit next Friday instead of within the 24 hours as presented in the contract.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Awesome. And then we have a contract with Barry's Ski and Sports to do their Hot Rocks kids race. I was expecting to have somebody from Barry's here to present this with us. So, but I have not heard anything from them. So we can just talk about the fee that we came up with, and there was a little bit of negotiation on as far as where we settled on the fee. So they want to rent out the championship field. Last year they rented a pavilion, and then they used a chunk of the beach. They wanted to use the bike path. The agreement we came up with was they could not block the public from using the bike path during that time, the mountain bike path. And so this year they wanted to move the event up onto the championship field, where they'd set up a little bike trail, have some vendors, have their sponsors, and then they would also rent the bike path. So the fee for the championship field is $375. And then I came to them with, and I said, I think that because we do not have a fee for the bike track.
Are you
I said,
talking
the
the
mountain,
dirt, the
yeah.
mountain bike track?
Mhm.
Okay.
The mountain bike track. So I came back and I said, $500 I felt was a good place to start. They took it back and came back with a lower offer. I countered and said 400 was the lowest I'd be willing to bring to you guys, which I do believe in the event. Some of the things that go into some of the factors I take into consideration is when they're charging people to attend. They charge a $5 fee for people to attend. They do have some sponsors. They are going to have some vendors. So I felt like that was a reasonable, I still feel like $400 is a reasonable fee for them to use the facility for the day. As far as if they're going to use the lawn, they will use some power from the pavilions. But they're not here to agree that the $400 is suitable for them. One of the concerns they had was that that they help build that bike track, and that every year has been given to them for free to use.
Well, it just went to 500.
But anyway, there's not an established fee for it. We typically don't rent it out. We let people do whatever they want. I felt like I still feel like the diversity and the event itself is really cool. The event's really cool. I watched it last year, but I still feel like the $400 is a good option. So my request would be for approval of the $400 event as the line.
But 500 is the actual cost that we normally charge?
No, we don't have a cost for it's $375 is the cost for the field, but they want to rent the track. There's no
Track,
fee
okay.
established for that. So I
essentially
threw
they
in
would
essentially an
cut
art.
off access for the
It
rest of that.
would restrict access to
Yeah.
the general public. Yes,
For how long?
the day,
The whole day?
Typically,
Or is
I
it
think last
just
time
the
they were
morning?
done by they were done by noon.
Yeah,
So
so
that
it's,
should only be a couple hours.
It says 4 PM to 8 PM.
Yeah, so 4 hours. I last time they did, I thought it was in the morning.
I thought it was too.
Yeah,
But this says
4 p.m.
July
to 8.
15th, 4 PM to 8 PM.
I'll ask you a question about Barry's and then the bike track after. But
Well, I know that last year there was some concerns because they was pushing people off the track. I'd heard that. And then what all are they gonna use the field for?
So they set up a
They're gonna
little.
set
They
up a
set up a
path on
little.
it too?
They just set up a little like kids. That I mean, some kids will ride pedal bikes, but most of the kids ride the pusher bikes.
Oh, okay.
And last year they did it down the hill, and I watched some of those kids go bajan, you know, a 4-year-old with no brakes just zipping down this hill. It was pretty awesome. But they're going to do it on a flat surface this year. Flat-ish. Flat-ish surface. And so
Uh-huh.
I think it's a good event. I think it kind of fits in line with what we do. So I like the event. I just feel like this is a more realistic fee. That's all.
I feel like it's no different than having a car show on a soccer field.
Yeah,
If you have-
same.
If you have people that want to come play soccer, you can't kick me off. I want to play soccer. This is the field we always play on. Or the old man ultimate frisbee that happens up there on Wednesday nights. It's really no different kicking them off. I mean, it's public, but this is for a good reason.
I would just ask that maybe we have Barry's put up some signs up at the head of the track. This is tomorrow at this time, we're gonna be running this event.
Sure.
Because I know when we use the trails for races, that's what we do. We
Right.
mark it, hey, the trail will be closed or be used for a race tomorrow at this point in time. And then it's buyer beware, come at your own risk, because you may or may not get access. So that would be my request. I'm okay with it.
And I'm in favor of the event. One, they're not here to ask for the fee, and that's one of my regular rules. And two, they're already arguing with you that, well, basically, we own the track.
Well, it's
We built the track, and we own it, and you can't kick us off of it.
and I would say to you too that that is not unusual. There have been a lot of people. Every large event that we have up there, from football, soccer, rodeo, they've all done work up there to help
Good.
with the facility. And so it's kind of an interesting thing. At some point, we have to say, well, there's still an expense to use the facility. So
Well, Commissioner
part is-
Moser's rules are, you just added another $100 to the fee.
so I feel comfortable with the 400, but that's the contract I present to you.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve it as the $400 fee as presented.
We have motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. I was wondering if we're gonna have a split vote.
I was too. Like, do I need a drum roll here?
And you know what happens then? It's dead.
Yeah.
They don't get it.
I was curious if Jonathan told me a week or two ago that Barry's is applying for a grant that he's going to have to run through the commission. Has he talked with you about that for the bike track? It's a pretty substantial grant that he is applying for, in process of applying for, that he'll have to work with us as the county to have some professionals come in and rework the whole bike track area. It's about, I can't remember if he said it was a $50,000 or $75,000 grant that he's asking for that. But he's just looking into it preliminarily.
Well, we'd like to know. I mean, this is one that we want to know
Yeah.
ahead of time, because
Send them the form.
if
Yeah.
it's binding us to things like we talked about with the playground, I mean, we couldn't do that grant. They was binding us to
Right.
stuff that we couldn't
So
adhere to. you know.
I told him the process and gave him Christie's number and told him to talk to Scott a little bit about it. But I did ask him those things, and there's just no strings. It's just money to come in from a mountain bike group that will, free money.
But
And then the last item we had on the agenda was the alcohol.
Yes.
Talk about the alcohol or the alcohol license. But if we could, I'd like to push that one back. I'll resubmit it an agenda request.
Okay.
There's still some questions that Brian and I have to discuss, and before I feel it is pertinent to present. So,
Okay.
and that is all I have.
Well, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.